What's going on, my trainer club? Today we are going to check out the Halloween event that is coming in a few days to Pokemon Go so that you know exactly what to focus on, what to max out on, and make sure that you maximize out on this event. So welcome to the trainer club. Here we go. Welcome back, everybody. Let me know in the comments below, are you stoked for this Halloween event? Because we're getting a pretty good chunk of time for this event in Pokemon Go, which is super exciting. I love Halloween. I love the costumes. We have some new shinies and we have some exclusive in-game event bonuses that we're gonna make sure that you max out on. So just want to take a moment to appreciate all of you guys for being here always. Thank you for being a part of the trainer club. So let's start getting into my top tips to help you max out on the event. And then once the event drops, I'm going to release another video that's going to cover the boosted shinies, the research tasks, as well as any of the limited edition egg hatches and any of the information that might be coming. Because right now is all we know is what the event looks like from the Pokemon Go announcement. So let's get into the announcement and then we're going to go over my top tips. Let's do it. So the event is going to include two big highlights. We have the new Yamask release that is going to have a shiny potential, and we're going to have Darkrai and raids. For the other shinies that are added in, we have 4 new Pokemon. First time ever that they're going to be wearing costumes, which is super awesome. And in addition, they have these shiny potentials as well. So you're definitely going to want to get as many of these Pokemon as possible. Also, the event is going to go from October 17th all the way until November 1st. So it's going to be a 2-week long event that you're going to be able to max out on. And it's going to start on the 17th at 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern. If you need to know the correlating time zones, go to Google and translate it for your area. But I am sure that you are well aware of where this works out for you by now. But if you're a new player, go ahead and do that. So the bonuses are going to be 2 times catch candy, 2 times hatch candy, and 2 times transfer candy. So if you've been saving anything, we're gonna get into my top tips, but this is gonna be the time that you transfer, that we stock up on any of the rares and any of the ghost Pokemon that we may not have enough candy of, especially some of the other newer Gen 5 Pokemon that have just released, because this is a great time to boost into the Gen 5 Pokemon with a double candy event. So starting off, my tip number 1 is going to be to max out completely on the Darkrai in the legendary raids. And you want to know why? Because it says as of right now it's only until November 1st, so it's only during this limited time window. So we can obviously, number 1, max out during the dinner hour raids, but we absolutely want to get as many of these guys as we can because it's got some pretty good movesets, and it is going to be a beast Pokemon, which I am going to have my counter guide out either later tonight or tomorrow morning for you guys, so you can start prepping, you know, all the 100% IVs and everything like that. But you want to make sure to max out on that Darkrai as much as possible, because we have a pretty good competitor in the Dark Attacker games, which we will definitely check out in the best of the best series. So moving on to tip number 2, we want to max out on the candy. And what do we mean by candy? So candy can be from hatches, obviously, right? So if you have 10k eggs, you've been saving them, this would be a good time to hatch the 10k eggs, because we can get like Litwick, Golett, right? These Pokemon that are rare in the wild. They are in the wild, but they are so incredibly rare. Including Dino would be a great time to start trying to hatch them, right? So 10k eggs are going to be a great idea. Make sure to time them up with a star piece if you have an abundance of them, but don't blow through all your star pieces. You definitely want to save your star pieces with that benchmark for any future double Stardust events. So be cognizant of that. Make sure you know what's going on. Then we're gonna move on to the transfer candy. And transfer candy, what would you transfer? Here's the thing. The best thing to do would be to trade it over 100 kilometers to somebody that has a similar one and then transfer it. So let's say I have Oshawott. I have a bunch of Oshawott, and that's probably not a Pokemon that I'm gonna choose for a lucky trade. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find somebody that has another Oshawott over 100 kilometers. We're gonna trade it and then we're gonna transfer it. So trading it will give me 3 candies. Transferring it will give me 2 candies, right? So we get abundance of candy. So this trade and transfer over 100 kilometers is an amazing thing to do for this transfer candy. And typically, you don't want to do it just for like dinos, right? Because you can lucky trade the dinos because they're so rare right now. And Gibbles, you definitely want to lucky trade some Gibbles, because we have Gibble Community Day coming at some point. And if you checked out my video that's going to be dropping soon, it's going to include the potential of Garchomp to get a new move that may make him an amazing Pokemon. And as far as the catch candy, you just want to catch as much as possible. So we get double catch candy, which is going to give us 6. If we Pineapple it, it's going to give us 12. If it's a second tier Pokemon like a Haunter, right? Ghastly is going to give us the 12. Haunter with a Pineapple Berry is going to give us 20. If we get a Gengar in the wild with a Pineapple Berry, it's going to give us 40. So just make sure to hand out those Pineapple Berries for anything you need candy or anything in the future that you may need candy for, especially the Gen 5 starters. This is a great time to kickstart start your candy reservoir. This is one of the events that literally stacks, and everybody's like, how do you get so much candy on your Pokemon? It is literally the Halloween event that bumps me up. Especially, here's the tip: if you can find a nest, you can go to the Silk Road nest locator, you find a nest that is like an Oshawott nest or a Snivy nest or a Tepig nest, you go there and you pineapple it. That's how I got so much Charmander candy, because now I could go to the nest, pineapple all of the Tepigs, which I would get 12 candy from, right, with the pineapple berries. Then I could trade them for a candy, and then I could transfer them for a candy. So not only if somebody was hunting with me, I would get 1 extra candy from the trade, I would also get the potential to get a lucky, and I would transfer it for 2 candy, which is a ton of candy, right? That would be a total of 15 candies if you follow that exact advice, with the potential to get luckies for future community days. So that is a humongous win. Max out on the nest. And tip number 3 is going to be to max out on as many of the Yamask as you possibly can. Number 1, because it's brand new. Number 2, it's gonna have a shiny. Number 3, pineapple it, because ghost Pokemon get rare after the event. So just catch as many of those as you possibly can. And right now, let's go over the 100% IVs in case they come to a research task or into eggs. Level 15 is gonna be 420. Level 20, which is gonna be egg level, is gonna be 561. So get out there, get as many as possible, which is gonna lead us into tip number 4. Speaking of shiny Pokemon, it's going to be to max out on these shiny Pokemon that are gonna be ghost related. Because these Pokemon do get pretty rare, we want to max out on the Ghastlies, their shiny potentials, right? If Haunters are out there, they're not gonna be shiny, but you can use them to max out on the Ghastly candy if you need more Gengar candy. Then you can also check out the Duskulls, the Shuppets, both have shiny potentials. We have the Drifloon, shiny potential. We have the Sableye, shiny potential. We have the Houndour that has a shiny potential, usually gets boosted during this time because of its dark and fire combination, and the Misdreavus shiny potential. And obviously we're gonna look and hope that we're gonna get boosted Litwicks and Golets in the 10K eggs. Don't know for certain, but definitely keep your eyes out for that. And then obviously for the other shinies that are added in, we have 4 new Pokemon. First time ever that they're going to be wearing costumes, which is super awesome. And in addition, they have these shiny potentials as well. So you're definitely going to want to get as many of these Pokemon as possible. And here's the other thing. If you're looking for the starter candy from Gen 1, since they're getting rarer, or if you just started and you haven't had the chance to stock up, this is a great time to pine out these guys. But obviously you want to click on as many as possible to try to get the shiny potentials. So the costumes are as follows. We have the Bulbasaur wearing the Shedinja. We have the Charmander wearing the Cubone costume. Squirtle's going to be rocking the Yamask costume in supporting the new shiny release ghost Pokemon. And then we have Pikachu wearing the Mimikyu costume with a shiny potential as well. So these guys are going to be super awesome. They're probably going to be everywhere. You are definitely going to want to stock up on as many of these as possible. Number 1, for the candy, if you need these guys candy if you're newer to the game. Number 2, because they have shiny potential. So click on as many as you possibly can. Look out to try to get those shiny potentials, because after this event, they are going to be a very rare commodity in the game. People that didn't play during this time are going to be looking for them, and people that did play that don't get them are going to be looking for them as well, because you have to have the shinies with the costumes. They are high value, especially at any type of Go Fests or anything like that. And then we're gonna transfer that, so all the shiny potentials, pine at those guys. We're gonna go into tip number 5, which is going to be the new shadow Pokemon. Make sure to use these guys, because you can also pine at them to get double candy. So what are the new shadow Pokemon that are coming? One of my favorite Pokemon that's gonna be in there. Let's check them out right now. We have the Weedle, Kakuna, Beedrill. We have the Electabuzz. We have the Magmar. Gotta love those planes, man. Yeah. We have the Lapras, the Mareep, which then can evolve into Flaffy and Ampharos. We have the Seedot, the Nuzleaf, the Sableye. We have the Trapinch, we have the Cacnea, we have the Shuppet, and we have the Duskull. So not only is it cool to kind of get some Stardust bonus, you can up your battles, you can keep increasing, because at some point I think there's going to be legendaries that are going to come out with Shadow, so you want to have increased balls, right? So check out some of these guys if you want to start purifying some Pokemon. Maybe wait off, because there's that projected leak that the shadow event is going to come at some point. So what I'm thinking is during that event, we may get a discount for purifying shadow Pokemon. I hope, right? So if that is the case, we can purify a lot then for maybe 50% discount Stardust, which would be an awesome event, right? Which would then help us get up there without having to waste it. Because if you had 1,000, you dropped it down to 500, you basically do a battle, get 500 Stardust, purify for 500, and then we're on to the next one. Then I'm going to tell you to go gung-ho. But as of right now, just hold tight, because I don't suggest doing the 500, but getting to the 50 is not all that big of a deal. But if we can even go lower, right? I would rather just have you do 50 and miss out on one Premier Ball than go all the way to the 500 and waste a bunch of Stardust as of right now, unless there's a discount on Dust, which would mean that it would just basically cancel out. So that's just a hypothesis and a projection for the future of something that may happen. Lastly, just make sure to get out there and play as much as possible, right? All this double candy is absolutely amazing for our gameplay. I always suggest you guys max out on double candy, and if you've been saving any legendaries or any Pokemon that have been traded or any rares that you have already traded that are not good and you're not going to power them up ever, if you want to see what questions I ask myself before I transfer my Pokemon, you can check my video out up here. But that's going to do it, guys. Have fun, get out there, max out, hatch your eggs, 10K eggs, do the shadow research, get some new shadow Pokemon, consider pineapping those guys because you also can get double candy, obviously, from the shadow Pokemon. And then if you get a good one and you want to power it up, or it's a Trapinch and you want to use it for the future December Community Day where you will be able to get the Earth Power, hopefully, then you can do that because it won't be able to get Earth Power if you evolve it as a shadow. It has to be for a purified Pokemon, right? We chase down those nesting Gen 5 Pokemon, especially the starters, and we have the most fun that we possibly can, and we're after that Darkrai in the raids. So those are gonna be my top tips. As soon as the research comes out and anything else exclusive, we'll be having a video on that as well. I just want to make sure you guys are prepped, ready to go with the fundamentals and the foundations of this Halloween event so that when the other things come out, we can just do an add-on video and I won't have to repeat myself. So that's everything, guys. I hope I provided you guys a lot of value, and if I do, make sure to hit that sub button, turn on your notification, and share this video for anybody that is starting to play Pokemon Go and needs help maxing out on these events. So I appreciate all my likers, commenters, subscribers, and sharers, and my Patreon members for taking their subscriptions to that next level. I'm gonna see you guys out on the next video. Peace! I just want to take a moment and sincerely thank all of my Patreon members, everybody that has taken their subscription to the next level and chosen to support me on this platform. I greatly appreciate you guys. As a growing channel and really trying to grow and improve as much as I possibly can, I really appreciate the extra support. You guys mean the absolute world to me. I cannot wait to connect with you soon, and I appreciate you guys all for being a part of the Trainer Club. I will see you guys out on the next video.